DuckTales Season 3, Episode 19, Beaks in the Shell.
Yay! Fenton still has his girlfriend.
And she's
And she's
trying to
not,
not be evil anymore.
yeah, she's not as evil as she could have been.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at this point, she basically, at this point, she's actually doing good because she's been feeding him the information he needs to stop her. So she still looks good with Fowl, and she's not. And they don't send another agent to do it, because if she's not the one getting
Because she
stopped.
put in, not anymore, because, she put in her 2 weeks resignation and they're like, sorry, nope.
Yeah, I was talking about before. Like, yeah, she was, from what they were saying, it's like, no, I was feeding him information that this is when I'm going to hit it. This is how I'm going to hit it. This is what I'm going to try and steal, so that
Yeah.
he could be there to stop her, and so Fowl wouldn't send another agent who wouldn't give him the information. So
Yeah.
she basically was
A double
stifling Fowl and also burning up Fowl's resources to build this. So stealing from Fowl, the bad guys, so good, and then also stopping, other people from being the ones to take on these missions where they might actually succeed, or she's not trying to succeed.
Yeah. And I mean, I love Fenton's mama. I adore her. She is just so. I know she's kind of a caricature of a Latino mother, but she is just hilarious and just brilliant.
Yeah.
And I love that. Call me mama from now on.
Yeah, she was a little she was a little too eager. She was a little too happy to.
Well, her son is in his, what, 20s and
Yeah.
never had a real girlfriend, and
Yeah.
she's just like, my geeky son finally has a real girlfriend that's not a robot.
Yeah, she was very excited about Gandra.
I love that.
You're not, you are real, right? You're not some robot or something.
Which,
I
to
was
be
just
fair,
about to mention that.
with McDuck Enterprises and Fenton and whatnot, it's not
Yeah.
that's not a non-concern.
Yeah, considering her son, I understand her wanting to make sure.
But if you asked a robot if they were a robot, would they know they were a robot?
It depends.
It depends on this franchise, but
Yeah.
it's still something to think
I watched a
about.
really good series about something similar recently, and I'm very disappointed because I'm like, that's a great series. I finished season 3. Wait, there is no season 4. It ended in a cliffhanger, and you're not giving me more, you motherfuckers. I hate when they do that.
Just because you leave it on a cliffhanger doesn't mean you're gonna get another.
I mean, they've done that so many times.
I know.
What I
Glass, they did that, and Humans, they did that. I'm like, that show is so good, and there's like this huge reveal at the end that just, I'm like, when is season 4 coming out? And then I look it up and I'm like, there is no season 4. It's been canceled, and it was canceled like 3 years ago, so obviously there's not going to be a season 4.
Yeah, and what I'm hoping is that they had enough time. They probably were already planning to have her escape, but I'm hoping they have enough time to have that sort of, it may be that may be something saved for the penultimate episode, where they get through the next episode. The next episode is something different, and then you get to the penultimate episode, and they resolve her story and a few other things, and then you get to the last adventure, and that's actually resolving the series as a whole.
They have a lot to resolve with with only one episode because I watched the next one and part of the one after it, and then I got distracted by family making me be interactive.
Oh.
Ugh, like, hey,
Humans.
come
Ugh.
yeah, humans. Ugh. Anyways, so yeah, they did not resolve anything in the next two episodes as far as I've seen so far. The last episode has a lot to resolve.
Yeah, which I hope it does a good job of resolving it.
I
Because
hope
Yeah.
there's no cliffhangers. I've dealt with enough of those in the past few weeks.
well, at least they knew when they were writing it that it
That it
was
was
gonna be the
yeah.
last one. Heck, they probably wrote it loosely already. It was already. It might have been already sort of the idea of how they wanted to end it was probably always sort of on
From
note somewhere. But now they got to just weave in a few things that they need to do to make it
from
work.
interviews, apparently they were writing every season's like finale as if it was going to be the last.
Which is honestly probably, unless you already know that you've got another season past it,
Yeah, like season two,
probably
they knew they had a season three, which is why they fed you that little bit of foul tease.
yeah,
But
yeah. If you
they
already,
they
yeah,
were
if you already
writing
know,
they were writing each season like it was the last season. So
yeah, like we better make sure we can resolve this by the end. That way, if something happens, we get a nice resolution at the end of the season, and that can at least go to bed with all the as many the big questions answered.
yeah, that's how Warehouse 13 ended with the like they rushed the last season honestly because they knew they were over and they wanted to throw everything they could at it. Like
Yeah, they had
we
all
still
these
have
ideas for what they wanted to do. Oh, they had this whole idea for an arc that would take an entire season. Now we got to compress it into maybe a couple episodes.
well, not so much arcs, but more like we want to do a musical episode. We want to do a telenovela episode. We want to do this kind of episode, this kind of episode. So you know what they did?
All of it.
They did a couple of episodes as like flashbacks or memories, and they threw everything, all of those ideas into like a couple of episodes.
Like these are all
Like,
the things I've always wanted to do with this show, and now we're not gonna have any more opportunities. So I'm gonna all squish them down into a couple episodes. So they, at least I get them
well,
on screen.
it's into one episode, but at least it gave like at least they knew they were ending, so they were able to give closure while leaving it open ended, which was nice.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll be able to do that with this and maybe bring back Darkwing Duck
Well,
or
yeah,
Tailspin.
yeah. The last adventure is going to be interesting to see how, because they're going to have to resolve Gandra's situation, or it's going to
Yeah,
be weird. So if they have hers figured out, like I mean, at the very least, what they have to do a sort of Lyra Bonbon situation where they show in a newspaper they show them getting married or something
yeah,
in the background. You see Scrooge flipping through a newspaper at the end of the episode, having saved the day with whatever, and there's a few minutes and it's just he's looking at an article on they pushed us to page 2, and you look at it and it's like, oh yes, down all the way to this page or something or other, and it's like in the corner you see you see those two getting married and whatnot,
yeah.
but
There were, I mean, we'll see. I have last episode, so I honestly have no idea.
My favorite line from this episode was, "Why are you still a thing?"
Yeah, and it kind of Although I was kind of frustrated with how he was able to just absorb everybody else's like powers so easily when they should have had the cognitive power to fight it off or at least do the same to him.
Yeah, I it's hard to resolve that because you could think, okay, well maybe he futzed with the program and gave himself like super admin or something. But then again, if he had super admin, he'd just not he wouldn't be defeated.
The
Yeah.
thing is, he's smart, don't get me wrong, he's just also stupid at the same time.
True. No. You know what the ending for Gandra and what's for
Fenton.
Gandra and Fenton should be? Like the ending line, one of the ending lines of this week's Pastor Noster, where it's like, well, Scrooge, you better get ordained because you're you're the one officiating.
Yeah, I mean, if the last adventure doesn't, it will probably have Gizmo Duck in it, and it might resolve it. But if worst case scenario, they can just cut away, like when they're showing all the friends they made along the way, just cut to the Gizmo Cloud and have them smooching in the Gizmo Cloud.
Yep.
That'll take a few seconds, and it'll show she's gotten free at least enough to go to the Gizmo Cloud. So
Nah,
Yeah.
she died. The lost library is they just died.
Ouch. That, but yeah, they, if not married, at least have them like in a more obviously stable relationship.
yeah,
You know?
because with her turning good, assuming that was real, that was real, which it seems we're a little late in the game for her to be playing that sort of game, and the fact that Fowl thinks knows she's also turned on them, so the fact that Fowl is punishing her without anybody else around for the benefit of nobody else, just the Gizmo's not watching her be taken away or anything. It's just, no, we're gonna take you away. It's like, no, she's
definitely gone good.
she's gone good. And so with that redemption, like, yes, she can go back to being Fenton's girlfriend.
Yep.
But
Although when at least his mama likes her.
yeah,
That's true.
another alternative way of sort of cutting away to them is funny way is
Okay.
that they're having a meal. They're at the house, and you have Fenton, his mama, and Gandra all sitting at the table, and Gandra and Mama are having a whale of a time. They're just having a when you just see Fenton just sort of just got his hand on his forehead going, well, at least my mother likes my girlfriend. That's a good thing.
So I'm kind of mad at myself that it took me like 5 minutes after I watched the episode to realize the pun of the episode name.
Oh, yeah,
Really?
Ghost in the
It takes
Shell.
you that long?
No, for some reason when I was hearing like Beak in the Shell, I was thinking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I have no idea why.
Because Heroes in a Half Shell.
Yeah, but it's like, oh shit, they're parroting Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
It feels so stupid.
Less parody and more just sort of referencing it.
I
Yeah.
did, before I actually watched the episode, I did think that I did my initial thought was Ninja Turtles, you know, here's in a half shell or whatever. And then as I'm watching the episode, I'm like, oh, Ghost in the Shell reference. Gotcha.
Mhm.
Which I've only seen the movie, but my dad was a huge fan of the series, so
It's a series that if you've seen the movie, you have kind of an idea of it's just that but more.
The movie's
yeah.
pretty good. Just don't listen to the idiots that say it's whitewashing because it's not.
I mean, she's a robot.
Exactly.
At any rate, yeah, the TV show itself is very
It's interesting.
it's very much a it's the movie plus plus.
Yeah.
Lots of navel gazing. I mean, it's some interesting thinking being batted about, but you're going to get a lot of that sort of, you know, it gets very philosophical at points, but it's also got cyborgs kicking butt, so. Well, have we
Let
basically
me
run?
think. I would like to be a part of that VR world.
Which that's
You
going to be a
realize
lot of programming to get it to where you can have the interact. You'd have to know a lot about a bunch of different disciplines to actually create a space where you can do anything. Like,
okay, Madrock, you realize Gandra doesn't come with it.
Shut up.
ah. So,
And
You don't
so
get a death
you want
roll
to take a
credit.
gander at Gandra?
oh, zip it. And of course, we always have the bullshit thing of the baking soda volcano always wins.
Oh my gosh, yes. Ugh. Although my nephew does like that, mostly because he just loves the chemical reaction of, you know, acid and base making boom.
Boom, 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 boom.
But I mean, it is a bullshit thing.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, considering how dangerous her project was, I'm pretty sure it would have been disqualified for safety hazard.
Eh.
Because they do have certain rules in those things, I think.
Yeah, obviously. And
Where
you usually, I think you basically, I mean, if you were doing that, you would, if you had a project, you'd get it approved beforehand. It's like, this is what I want to do at the science fair. Like, okay, that's safe enough, or that's ethical enough, so you don't end up with people, electrocuting hamsters, that sort
or,
of
you
thing.
know, mind controlling people with LSD for a science project.
Yeah, I think you would have them register what their idea is, so at least they know, okay, there's nothing unethical going on here. Oh, you're gonna see plants grow better with music. Okay, that's fine, whatever. They might
It
even have.
turns out that's been proven.
Yeah, but it's the same. But so has the baking soda
No.
vinegar
I'm saying
volcano.
Mythbusters did an episode on that.
Yeah, it's still it's a thing, but it experiments repeatable, that sort of thing. Anyway,
Let me think. Poor boy, poor Boy Scout or whatever had to lie.
Yeah.
It's like, wait,
I
he's
love Louis. She broke Louis.
it's like, wait, he's Gizmo Duck? I
Yeah.
need to know these things.
Well,
like,
she's
what do you know about your brother Louis? There are some tax evasion things about a false charity. What do you know about kids? I don't want to go to jail.
yeah, she's She's both a mother and a detective. She knows.
Like,
Yeah. Is it
are you I'm
detective?
worse.
It's because I'm a mother.
It's like, wait, red, big, green one.
It was the green one.
Like, I
The red
I
one
was
can't lie.
like assistant, lady, boy with hat. It's like, why do I keep on going in this closet?
Yes. Why was he in the closet?
Well, you know.
So that's why he was named Manny. I always did wonder.
Let's see. Did you literally just copy the thing I said about you having a big head?
I'm sorry, but that one made me think of you.
I mean, my head is sexy.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far at all.
Okay. Well, have we?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm exhausted. At least my phone's not going to blow up. It only has a 50-50 chance.
At this point, but that's an improvement.
Yeah, it went
Yeah.
up 100%.
I like that.
Oh.
That was a running gag. Just like, oh yeah, occasionally just those waddle phones just explode.
Oh, I do love the part. It's like, I coffee. Like, oh god, really? You're the shitty ideas you're taking.
We put the app in cappuccino.
And with that, let's
Yeah,
stop the stream.
I knew as you were watching that you were heavy sighing.